Ways to speak confidently in public. Welcome to the School of Self-Worth Live. I'm Sam Osborne, the Self-Worth Guy, and today we're talking about ways to speak confidently in public. And if you remember one thing from today's episode, it is story, link, point. That's all I want you to remember. 3 words. Tell a story and link it to a point. So first of all, I'm going to talk about breaking the ice. Then I'm going to talk about telling a story and then how to link that to a point. Let's go into those 3 things. So breaking the ice, you want to do this the first thing when you come onto stage, if you're standing in front of an audience, is to break the ice. And there's lots of ways you can do this. I learned a really great way of breaking the ice from watching one of the best motivational speakers in the history of motivational speakers, Les Brown. And Les Brown came out on stage. He's actually got this great video on YouTube called It's Possible. And he came out on stage and he said to the audience, "You're all looking great today." And he got a laugh out of that. And then he said, "I want you to turn to the person next to you and I want you to say, 'You're looking good.'" And it was fun, he just broke the ice. You can imagine it must have been 1,000+ people all turning to each other and saying, "You're looking good today." And, he got a laugh. And then he began his story. So I took that idea, and because I'm from Australia and I'm living in the US, I have the advantage of an accent which tends to stand out when you speak in front of American audiences. So I took Les Brown's idea and I created an icebreaker called Australian accent practice. And so I come out on stage, and because I know what it's like, you come out on stage and you're nervous and you're like, "Oh, how's this going to go? What's my audience going to be like?" Even though I have planned my speech. But the icebreaker really helps to make you feel comfortable and to make everybody feel comfortable. And you can get a feel of the audience that way. So I would come out and say, "Good morning, everybody. Today's topic is," and I would state the topic. And then I would say, "But before we begin, I would like to name the elephant in the room, and that is my accent." And that would get a little bit of a laugh. And then I would say, "So in order for everybody to understand me for the next 1 hour while I speak, we are all now going to practice our Australian accent." That got a little bit more of a laugh. And I said, "It's really easy to do. You just turn to the person next to you, look them in the eye, shake their hand and say, 'G'day, mate.'" And then everybody said, you can imagine a whole bunch of Americans trying to say "G'day, mate" with an Australian accent. It comes out like "G'day, mate" or something like that. Anyway, it got a laugh and it broke the ice. So break the ice. That's the first thing to do if you want to speak confidently in public. The second thing is to tell a story. Now, a story is really engaging for the audience, and it's something that I think we all naturally do, whether it's at the pub, the cafe, with our friends. We're able to tell a story, aren't we? So once you've broken the ice, come out and tell a story. But you have in mind the point that you want to make, and that's the third point. We'll get to that in a minute. So you might want to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story of the time when I learnt about this idea of story, link, point. And I learnt it from one of Australia's greatest public speakers, Glenn Capelli. And he was probably one of the first ones that I ever saw speak. And he mentioned, this is how you speak confidently. He said, "Tell a story and link it to a point." So I want to give him full credit for this. And I went up to him after he spoke. This is back in 2013 in Australia, Perth, Western Australia. And I said, "I want to do what you do. This is great." And he says, "All right, tell a story and link it to a point and, find out what you want to talk about." So I went about doing that and got really good at storytelling and keeping it fun. So make sure you tell a story, okay? And the third point is to link your story to a point. So you need to have your point clear in your mind when you start, and that can be a simple statement or sentence or a couple of easy to remember words, much like I started at the beginning of this video. I said, if you remember one thing, it's story, link, point. And that's the one thing I want people to remember. That's actually my point, story, link, point. Remember to tell a story and link it to a point. And so have your point ready at the end of the story. So you tell your story, and then you might ask a few questions to sort of link that to your point. So, for example, I tell the story of how I met Glenn Capelli, and I went up to him and said, I want to have a great, I want to be a motivational speaker like you. And he told me, some great advice. And then I would link it by saying, and what I learned from meeting Glenn is that you should find something that is engaging, something that is enjoyable to do, like tell a story, something that relates to your history, something you know a lot about, something that is going to bring out human emotions, allow you to express yourself. And it allowed me to learn the importance of brevity and keeping things short, sweet, and genuine when it comes to speaking to an audience. And so what I learned from my meeting with Glenn Capelli is tell a story and link it to a point. So keep your point really simple and repeat it a few times. And just having those three things, breaking the ice, telling a story, and linking it to a point, there's three things that you can easily remember and do. It's going to make you feel confident when speaking in public. All right. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I've got a free gift for you. It's called Crush Imposter Syndrome Forever, the Starter Kit for Bulletproof Confidence. And you can see it running along the screen there at the bottom. Go to samosborn.com/starter kit. And you can also get it above on the links on Facebook and LinkedIn, and below on YouTube, also on Spotify. And I invite you to join the School of Self-Worth Facebook group. That's the best place to get hold of me. All right, everybody, go and speak confidently in public. And remember, tell a story and link it to a point. Have a great day.